Alright, welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Alright, fuck off. Alright, so, welcome to today's podcast with me, True, and my partner in crime,
Truutosis.
Truu Tosis podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa,
The first of its kind.
we have a name.
We stand that. Alright. What are we going to be talking about today, Tosis?
We're gonna address the topic of religion.
Well, so we're starting off easy.
We're gonna get all the traction.
Of course, we have like a list to follow throughout, but we're just like just some conversation points, and hopefully you guys can just sit back, relax, or I don't know, put this on whilst you're studying or whatever you want to do. I really couldn't give a shit, as long as you listen. Okay, so Matthew,
Whoa!
that's it. I'm name dropping because I'm gonna say it anyway throughout the podcast.
Fair
Anyway, so
enough.
I'll just do it now. Do you want to start off with the first?
Of course I will, Sid.
Okay, maybe we don't do that one.
Sorry, Bilal.
Okay, alright, Jesus.
Um,
Do you want to start off?
our first topic is about our religious experience in our childhood. Both of us have grown up with religious backgrounds.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
what about
obviously
you,
yours
Bilal?
was Catholic, or they...
Yeah,
Yeah, Catholic.
what the fuck?
I don't know.
I'm not person. That's boring as hell.
It's true. It's true. Whoa, you can't be saying that.
I don't care. Everyone
Okay.
agrees. Protestant is boring, bruh.
Bruh.
Alright, okay, so I was obviously brought up as a strong Shia Muslim.
See what lucky.
No, I'm not allowed to, honestly. So, growing up, my mum was like really a strong believer in that stuff. My dad was the one who's like, oh, just listen to your mother in it, because he's on like he goes to the mosque and all of that.
Ugh.
He thinks he eats halal food and doesn't drink alcohol, as far as I'm aware. But obviously, I grew up in that background. All my brothers and sisters, you know, we grew up, had to learn how to read the Quran. My brother and sisters all finished it, besides my younger one. I didn't, because
Oh, was there something in it that you didn't do?
no, it's
Was
just
it too boring?
realistically, you gotta read it in the old Arabic, and
Yeah.
it takes forever. So I just like said, maybe one day I'll buy an English copy and read it in English, because
What the hell?
I can't be asked to waste my time.
Isn't that against
I
the?
don't know. You're supposed to read it in like that language, but I don't see the point. Like, what's the point in reading something if you don't understand what you're reading? You know?
Yeah, but that's the problem. But isn't that what they said? You're not allowed to translate it.
But they did. So
Yeah, but technically, I don't know. They said one time you're not supposed to translate it. That's why the Bible's so fucked.
it's true. But yeah, obviously I grew up eating halal food, not drinking alcohol, still having to this day, mashallah. No, but obviously now I'm just there's a lot of things that happen in my life where I thought, damn, I'm not feeling this whole religion thing. So
Fair enough.
I kind of headed out of that and just did my own thing. Obviously,
I'm about to head out.
I wouldn't say I'm a strong atheist per se, but I'm just, my kind of ideology is live a good life and hopefully good things will happen to you. Well, not, I don't believe in karma per se, because you know there's some like melts out there who are like complete dickheads in their life, right? But obviously they get away with and become billionaires and living a fancy life. Karma, in my opinion, isn't real. But I believe, like, if you're just a good person in life, then obviously if there is some afterlife, how's God saying to you, you didn't worship me, you're not allowed into heaven when you're a great person, you know? So I think if you're just a good person, be nice to those around you. Obviously, I'm not the nice. I joke around a bit, you know. I can be an arse sometimes, but I'm only human, right?
No.
But oh, Whoa. No, but yeah, I just that's my thing really. My mum still strong. My older brother, he's agnostic. He believes in something, but he doesn't know, which is fair enough. It's an interesting mindset. So,
That's what my dad is.
and I don't know. I think there's a lot of experiences people go through in life that change what they believe. And I don't know, man. I've been talking a lot. I'll pass it over to you, Mr. Tosis.
As you said, well, as I said, my dad is agnostic. He grew up in an all-boys school that was very religious. He used to sing in the choir, actually, if you didn't know. He was
So
a
did I.
choir.
So did I.
What?
In a Protestant school, because I went to some Christian primary school.
Dead.
Made me
That's
sing all
dead.
hymns and shit.
Yeah, my dad was a choir boy, and then he stopped being religious purely because his mum died, which was really sad. So fair enough. But no, I mean, he's agnostic, so it's like, he's sitting on the fence. So he's not a complete atheist,
Yeah.
you know? Same almost one for me, though. Because it was not that I hated religion, it's just that at one point, it just didn't seem to make sense to me. It's like, bruh, these people wasting their lives to a god that probably doesn't exist. What losers, am I right? And I thought I was based and red-pilled. Losers, take the L, take the L. You believe in a god. I believe in science, boy. I believe in science. I was a true, well, not neckbeard because I wasn't fat. Not yet. Oh! But
Nah, that's interesting. Your dad was one of those altar boys. One of them. The
yeah,
Catholic religion, in my opinion, that's I'm gonna say it. It's a cult.
I don't. You said this before. We already told you it's not a cult. It's not a cult, bro. It's a religion. It's an organization. A cult
Obviously,
is
all
a
right. For those that
small-scale
know,
group.
me and Tosis go to the same school, and it's a really strong Catholic school.
It's not that fucking strong.
I mean, like, and we're in this. What was it? It's like some end of year assembly
Yeah.
or whatever, and like
Mhm.
everyone was just. Obviously, I'm quite. I grew up in. I went to a Protestant school for primary, and then
Mhm.
year 7 to 11, my school was just like whatever, they weren't religious, all right. But came to this school, haven't been around religion for a while, to be honest. At that point, like besides Islam, because that's just my home basically. And
Islam is my house.
so these people, they just was reciting things from memory and in a really monotone like voice, whatever. And like
Okay, look. I'll say the prayer. Let me say the.
it creeped me out.
Look, it's not that bad, though. Everyone says it.
Which
I'm
one
sure
is
you. Look, I'm sure you guys, or Muslims, have a prayer that they may repeat from time to time.
Yeah, but I never learned that stuff because I always just found it not well, when I was younger, I just found it boring, to be honest. But
So that made you find the Catholic one interesting.
no, I find that creepy.
What's the difference? Just because you can understand it.
No, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
It's just in the assembly. I
what?
was
Just
even
because it's
talking to
monotone?
one of my teachers who's like not religious, and he goes, "Yeah, it's like you're in a cult meeting." That's what he said to me as well.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
said,
It's
"Yeah."
you're like in a cult meeting, not a cult. It's not a cult.
The Catholic religion is it's a weird one, man, because
It's not a cult. Look, yeah,
I'm not
it's
okay. Maybe
pretty.
it's not a cult, but it was made for money, all right? The whole
Whoa,
this
whoa, 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 whoa. Look, I'm not gonna argue, but I'm just gonna say I don't think it started off with that premise. Obviously, religion was a belief. Okay, they didn't obviously write a book saying, "Oh, this is gonna make bank, bro. It's gonna fucking bomb with the fucking bookshelves." You know, they didn't have that intent. They wrote it because they believed in that, and that was something that they believed in a higher power had told them.
Oh, also to
But
preface
I will
this,
agree with you, though.
for all of the people listening,
Further, oh,
we don't know, like I'm literally just talking off what I know, but I haven't done any research into this stuff. So I'm sure
I've
there's like
done
one or two of you in
some
the
work.
comments just like fucking writing essays about how I'm wrong, and I'm like, realistically, I don't care. I'm just going off what I've heard because I'm more of a like learning by
Retard.
doing things and stuff like that. But from like I listened to Joe Rogan podcast. That's a great podcast, and he talks about his experience with his. He grew up in a Catholic school, basically, and he talked about how it's crazy how many of these altar boys get touched. You know, like he talks
I
about
don't
how
think it's the religion. It's not the religion.
that's crazy. It's always a Catholic priest. It's never. It's like you rarely
Yeah,
hear
but
about like the Jewish. I don't know what the Jewish one is or Islam one. It's always a Catholic priest, not even Protestant, just
maybe
Catholic.
because it's a Catholic society is more of an issue.
So you think it's not the religion, it's the society,
No, the issue is pedophiles.
and you think
They
they're
would
drawn to Catholicism.
no, they're not drawn to religion. They're drawn to the children. It's an easy way to access children via religion. It's so easy for them to get into the Catholic Church, become priests, and become monsters. It's disgusting.
I don't know if I told you. I don't actually. Maybe I didn't tell you this. You know, my primary school,
What
there was a priest who got like caught for doing that shit,
Jesus?
and I luckily I didn't like experience any of that shit. Apparently he was a like priest for that for like 20 years or something. So in
Mm.
20 years he could have done a lot of damage.
Still, it's just pedophiles. I don't think it's actually the religion. There's nothing about the religion that is like inherently pedophilic or anything. It's just the people that are drawn to the religion that make it that way.
Do you think there's like an experience that made you your like heavily influence your religious beliefs? You talk about how your dad, his mother's death, obviously that's something sad someone goes
Yeah.
through, right? But for you, is there anything you think, damn, yeah, this was a key influence?
The key influence in becoming religious again was not thinking about killing myself because of realization
Realization of what?
that I actually had a best friend that was funny, made me laugh, and I've got a certain someone that was very important at the time, still is.
Unfortunately, yeah, and I'm joking, I'm joking. It's a joke. Okay, so I think no, that's an interesting one because obviously I've got like depression. Uh,
You can't self-diagnose yourself.
I mean, it's been pretty
What are
bad
you?
recently,
What are
right?
you, a Billie Eilish fan?
No, no, but like, I'm not a massive fan of all the hospitals and stuff like that. But I don't go, but I'm kind of
Well,
got
no
that
man is.
ideology. I'll fix it myself or something. But obviously, your boy's sad, right? But I've never
Yeah, he's
once
sad, but
thought
he's not
of,
depressed. He's not depressed.
I've never once thought of turning to religion as an
No,
answer.
I didn't say that I turned to religion.
Yeah, but it's never influenced any of my decisions
I'm just
like that.
saying that it helped me believe more. Say, damn, maybe there is a God that's trying to help me, maybe there is someone that's like, you know what, this guy deserves a break. But obviously, in your experience, it doesn't seem to work out that way.
Yep.
Probably
Sometimes
because you're
people.
believing in the wrong God. I'm joking. That's not shit.
It's funny.
I'm
It's
joking.
funny. But thing is, though, yeah, people commit their life. There's so many people who commit their lives to just one religion. But why is there like so many people committing their lives to each religion? Surely, if you commit your life to something and do all this research, right, someone's gonna find out which is the definite one. And you know why no one's done that? Because they're
No,
all shams. Like realistically, religion, it's a great concept. It's a social construct back in the time because like people were scared of death and people still are. So they're like, how about if I tell these people, oh, but if you're on good behavior, when you die, you'll be happy. And if you don't do these certain rules, which we see bad as humans, then there'll be more order in like the kingdoms or whatever there were at the times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more order. Religion created order at the time, which is a good thing. But what it's turned into, which is my kind of view now, it turned money hungry in like the 1800s and stuff like that. That's what I learned in
That's
history.
ages ago.
Yeah, and it's still they do quite take a bit of money as well.
I don't think so anymore.
I don't think not as much now, not as much, but there was
The
a
church has
period
done
where they
enough.
just took
I mean,
so
damn.
much money.
Yeah, medieval shit. But like, I think the church has done its time. It's literally. I feel like the church now is purely just trying to actually adapt because it's changing now. It's actually becoming more acceptable of homosexual relationships and stuff. The Church of England accepts the theory of the Big Bang as long as there's a God behind it, obviously.
Yeah,
Which
I
is,
mean, for
you
me,
know,
the experiences that changed my view on religion was I don't know. I mean, my family aren't from the best financial spot, you know. My mom always struggles to pay bills and stuff like that. And I know she turns to religion a lot, and like I'm seeing it's not making a massive difference. So I'm just like, huh. She's a devout follower, and look how God's done her dirty kind of thing. But I don't know. My uncle, like I'm really like look up to him. I wouldn't say he had a well, he kind of had a big influence on me because he's a devout atheist, right? And I wouldn't say he turned me to atheism, but he gave me a new perspective, which I think is really important, right? I think
hmm
people who are faithful followers since birth, I think they're crazy, in my opinion. I feel like everyone's got to go through some period of doubt, right? Of just trying to think, I need to explore myself and these religions to know exactly what I'm following and what I'm following is actually like legit. And I'm still in that period, but yeah, that's kind of my view.
Well, do you ever think that you might go back to religion, or are you definitely staying out?
You see, with religion, it's such a broad thing, right? And there's obviously with all religions, right? There's a lot of pros and cons to them, and like there's a lot of things I like about certain religions, like Buddhism. I feel like that's a really there's some aspects of that which I think yeah that'd be cool to implement in my life. I don't think I'll ever go back to one religion per se.
Uh, yeah, that's basically what's happening actually nowadays. To be honest, people are just taking it's like the shopping. It's
Yeah,
like some sort of, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like shopping through all the religions and taking the parts that you want. Like, oh, I don't want to go to hell. I'm just going to take this part of the religion that guarantees that I'm only going to go to heaven, and maybe I'll take some Buddhism, some Islam. Just get all of it, get the good bits, basically.
there's also like with that is my problem with that, right? Is there's people who take the wrong side of things. Like obviously with religion there comes the talk of these terrorist groups, right?
Yeah,
That's a huge thing. Like the TV show Messiah,
yeah,
that was a great watch, right? We both watched that, we both loved it.
yeah.
But it's interesting to see how this guy who's supposed to be Jesus, how they treat him like a terrorist from the get-go. And
But
obviously
then,
it's better to do that because then it's more safe.
yeah,
But I don't know.
but that's in the modern day. Obviously, if you get someone who's going to believe they're Jesus, no one's going to want to believe it either. It's like, there's no way this guy's Jesus.
Yeah,
And with the way that the show presents it, it definitely does make you argue, is this guy Jesus? Is he?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
we're not going to spoil the ending just in case any of
Yeah,
you haven't watched it because it's we do recommend it. It's a great watch, but there's a lot of doubt, right? It can go either way. People could argue it, but
yeah.
it's set up for a second season, which I know is really popular, so they'll do it. But the idea of Jesus, like in Islam, Shia anyway. I don't know really, but my mom told me this. Like they're predicting like the next Jesus is gonna come in the next 100 years or whatever. So when he comes down, it's gonna be lit. Apparently, that's Armageddon basically when he comes down.
Armageddon.
Well, no, I think it's called the Day of Judgment, isn't it? Like,
I don't know. That's a different view from what I think I've heard. It's like, oh, I can't remember what religion it is, but it's like when he comes, it's just eternal paradise. I
yeah,
can't. I don't want to be wrong by saying it, but I think it might be Jews. I hope I'm not assuming, but that's what I think. I think it's Jews that think as soon as the Messiah comes, it's eternal paradise, or they also argue it's either like eternal damnation. I can't remember.
have you
God, I'm
seen
spitting
the
bullshit.
film This Is the End?
What, the one with Simon Pegg?
No, the
Oh, the fucking celebrity
Seth
movie.
Rogen. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Oh,
The
that was.
World Would Become Like That? Have you seen it?
Yeah. It
That
was
becomes like
funny.
Armageddon at the end, and there's like some big
I
devil or something.
mean, but obviously their take on it is supposed to be comedic. But
Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
and see how I think so. I like the idea of like if you're a good person, you get sent to heaven, right? Because
Uh
my thing is right. People, the childhoods, they're born into religion, right? And this
huh. Most of them,
most of them. So
yeah.
what you're kind of screwed, right? If God's like,
Depending what religion. I feel like
yeah,
if it's if you're Catholic, it's easier to leave. It's easier to leave that religion because it's not as demanding or like serious now. Whereas I
Islam's a
think,
huge
yeah,
to
it's.
go
I feel like
against.
it'd be really difficult because well, your family, I think it's easy because you live in England. It's not
Exactly,
that deep.
right?
It's not that deep. But if you're in like a heavily Islam influenced country, it's going to be really hard for you to get out of that. Like, oh, sorry, I'm not really feeling, being Muslim. And everyone's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I swear, I don't know.
obviously, I got some backlash, right, from my family when I first brought it up.
What
Uh,
kind? Was it
huh?
like serious? Was it serious backlash or like go to your room?
Oh, I mean, there was a point where I almost moved to like my uncle's house.
Oh yeah.
Cause like my mum, like I said, she's like a really strong, uh, Muslim, right? But
Hmm.
it's I just think it by going against it, like I'm born in like I'm from London, right?
Hmm.
Everyone, or and most of my friends are white per se, and by white I mean like Catholic or Protestant. I go to a Catholic school, so most of them are Catholic geezers, right? And they just drink. They drink and stuff like that. Always go out and eat non-halal food. It's tough to like follow all the Islam rules, right? And then also,
I mean,
I mean, it's not
London's definitely a
impossible,
good place. Yeah, it's a good place to be like Muslim because there's a lot of places.
but there's
For,
just a lot of influence,
Mm.
and someone in Islam would see that as negative influence, whereas me, that's just
It's
who
just
they
you
are.
hang out with them,
Yeah.
You can't really help it. If you want to be a part of it, so be it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't know what on, but
Uh, there's also there's a lot of strange things with the religion. Not strange, I kind of get it why people say it, but all this like masturbation is a sin and all of that.
that's that's like going back to the roots of a religion,
Yeah,
basically. That's like, oh, people have seen that, oh, Christianity's turned into this like thing. It's like, oh, this isn't what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about,
times are
uh,
changed.
yeah, but obviously they don't want to change. Let's just be real. Most of the stuff about going back to the basics is boomers, right?
Yeah.
They want to stick with the past. They're like, but abortion is bad.
Hmm.
Obviously, you still get some younger people saying that abortion is bad, but it's mainly old people, I'd say.
But the thing is, right, here's my thing about abortion in religion and how it's perceived. They say abortion, like they talk about it, it's bad, right? And they've said that throughout time. But that's because the method of abortion at that time was like punching the woman's stomach, basically, right?
And pushing it down the stairs.
Yeah, that's why I say it was bad at the time. But
It's
now
bad.
technology's changed, where there brings no harm to the woman and it can stop the child or the baby at a point where it doesn't have a consciousness kind of thing, you know? So it's less inhumane.
Yeah, I see. Obviously, people would, like, I disagree with the fact about, like, killing a baby purely. Well, obviously, yeah, there's an extent, like, oh, if the baby's gonna live a shit life, then, no, put it out of its misery. That sounds bad, but, like, you know.
Yeah.
But then, like, getting rid of it purely because you made a mistake, like, it's just 100% your mistake. And you're just like, I don't fancy having a baby. Well, like, damn, you know.
Okay,
So
I've
it's
talked about
your
this with
choice.
you
It's your choice.
before, though, right?
Yeah, we've
Recently,
talked about it.
if we're with a female companion, right? And
Well,
somehow you accidentally get her pregnant, right? And we're both 17.
yes.
No way I'm raising a kid at this age. No
Yeah, it's
way.
understandable, but like, obviously, late in your life when you get knocked up and you just have a baby, it's like, I don't fancy having a baby, and then you just get rid of it.
Well, what's
It's
your
just,
definition later on in life? Like, I think
I don't know, just any time where you're like financially able to have a baby. Sure, you may not have a father to raise it, but I feel like you can't just get rid of it for the sake of not having one. It's like, I don't know. Of course,
what
it's
if you're
your
like
choice.
mentally just not ready?
It makes sense sometimes, but like, there's just some greedy people, you know. It's like,
Obviously,
fuck.
like in China, right, when they had the one-child policy, they just like kill babies because they weren't a guy, and then obviously you see the have you seen the
Yeah,
gender graph, right?
yeah,
It's
the
like
population is shit. Yeah,
just all male,
yeah, it's scuffed.
and I
But
think
that's
at that point it's bad, but right. There's like I don't know if is it IVF where you can like change some genes of the baby or something like that.
yeah, it's
Do you
like
know about that?
yeah,
Do you think
it's
that's
like
going too far?
it's sort of good.
I think that's amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great, but when you think of it like, oh yeah, sure, I can get rid of my child's Down syndrome, but why not just add some more? Why don't we just give him like the best hair complexion? Make sure he never bowls. Make sure that he's going to be muscular. Make sure like
But why wouldn't you do that?
because being human is about inequalities, man. You might have some difficulties. You might have some differences. You can't have a perfect baby. It's
Here's
just
where me and you disagree, right? Because I
yeah,
think that's fucking amazing, right? You can create these perfect genes for the baby, and that's gonna be
but
passed down
compared
throughout
to you,
society.
right? Think about you. How are you
Yeah.
going to compete? Huh?
What do you
How are
mean?
you going to compete? You're not going to be a part of that. Everyone
No,
around you is going to be like a 6'5" alpha beast with like 8 packs, and you're going to be sitting there.
no, but that's what I mean. It will slowly integrate into society. Obviously, okay, you're an idiot, right? Because no one's
Shut
born with
up.
muscles.
No, but you know what I mean. Like they have
Okay,
better
you get a better,
metabolism.
there's like a thing where your
Yeah,
muscles uptake,
testosterone
right?
shit. Mhm.
But right, I think do we not want those genes passed down throughout societies, and eventually everyone will have that?
But why?
Because we'll
What
just
do
be
we have for
better
those
human
genes?
beings.
But why? No, the only reason I can understand IVF is like if you're able to defeat diseases easily, if you can live for longer without aging as badly, getting rid of all like mental genetic disabilities and everything. That seems like a good human to me. I don't see the
What's that
purpose of
film?
being.
Oh, what film is it? That Dwayne the Rock Johnson one, Hobbs and Shaw. How Idris Elba becomes like what does he call himself? Black Superman.
Uh-huh.
Do we not want that?
Yeah, but he still looks like Idris Elba. That's the point.
No, but like that's like the thing. That's okay. It's hypothetical because it's film, right? But do we not want to increase our strength, intellect, looks?
No, but I don't see a point for looks and strength.
I get a point for with strength. You just become more productive in society.
For what part?
I don't know, physical labor. Imagine all the people in China
Yeah,
if they had
that's
like
probably
cocky
going to
strength.
be replaced though. They're going to be replaced by robots by the time we actually get superhumans then.
So, what do you think about intellect?
Yeah, it's good, but if everyone's smart, no one's going to take the dumb roles. We do need dumb people in
No,
society,
but
whether we like
hopefully
it
we'll
or
have robots by then
not.
to do the
I
job.
don't know. We still need dumb people.
You think
I
people
highly
will
doubt robots
will
can do
destroy it?
everything.
Yeah,
Huh?
but then, okay, at that point, right, it's gonna take a long ass time to get to the point where everyone's smart. 'Cause it's gonna cost money to change genetics, I'm guessing, right? There's no way they do that shit for free. And there's no way a homeless man's gonna be able to afford that shit. I'm talking
So
like
you're
a
thinking
thousand
what?
years down the
Ruling
road.
class. Only the ruling class are able to have superior genetics.
And then eventually it will trickle down into the poorbies. And by the time they all have like the genetics, there'll be robots and shit to do it, sort out for them. And that's saying not if the world ends in the next 100 years because of global warming.
No, man, it's definitely gonna get fucked. Like, it may
I
not
think
end.
we're gonna move to another planet for sure. But that's a whole other conversation, right? I'm talking
That's the
genetics, right?
stretch.
We
That's the
we
stretch.
we can okay, the planet thing we'll come back to later because that's
Mm.
but if I had the opportunity to make my kids smart, good-looking, strong, I'm fucking doing it. Like, if you would you turn down giving your kid a photogenic, what was it? Photographic memory.
That's intellect. I'm fine with that.
Why would you not want your
But
kids to be strong? If you're okay, let's say you have white hair genetics, right? Not the best. You can guarantee your kid's not gonna go bald.
that's fine. I don't care. That's easy.
That's physical.
Yeah, but it's not that fucking bad.
Well, what's bad
I
then?
use hair. Just removing the whole process of like being able to change as a human.
Why play the lottery when you can guarantee a win?
I don't know. I feel like it's just not really fair. That's not how.
What I hate about people, right? It's not an attack at you, it's an attack on everyone, on the fact that
It's not that I
everything has to
disagree with
be
change.
fair.
Okay.
Why does it have to be fair? You gotta be greedy in life. I'm
Yeah,
one of
but
these
you're not
people.
going to be a part of them, are you? You're just going to be the person who made it. You're going to be a person who made it. You're not going to be a part of those
No,
people
because
that.
obviously your genes are gonna go into it. They're still gonna be white
Yeah,
for
but what's
you.
the point of having your genes put into this fake, mass-produced
It's not
clothes?
completely fake, right? They only just take out a bit of the cells and change it. The muscle genetic, we're just taking out all your inequality, or what are the inequalities, whatever they're called, and putting it with the good shit.
So you're going to remove everyone's inequalities.
Not ever.
So,
Over time, they'd go.
like, features that make you an individual. That's what I'm trying to say. Something that makes you an individual removed from you.
I mean, my thing. Have you seen South Park? That episode where people come from the future and start living there.
No, I have not.
So there's an episode, right, where in South Park, it's a TV show. For those of you who don't know, it's a cartoon TV show, and people come from the future and they want jobs here for dirt cheap because it becomes overpopulated, right? But that's not the point. The point is, right, in the episode, everyone from the future is the same color, which is because I think it's going to be an interesting one because mixed race couples are a thing now, right? And mixed race couples are growing, which means the skin colors are starting to like merge. And I think like over time, everyone's gonna start looking the same roughly. I feel like it's
Yeah,
gonna
that's completely different.
no, but they're gonna be looking the same. Like
No, if you're
one
mixing
thing.
with another race, hold
Okay,
up,
so
hold up,
what's
hold up,
what's
hold
what's
up, hold up, hold up, hold
okay,
up, hold up,
okay.
hold up. If you're mixing with another race, that makes your genetic that makes your fucking difference much better. It's not gonna make you more sane. Just because there's more mixed race couples, that's like more chances of having different offspring.
No, 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 no. Here's my point,
I'm
right? I
describing it
feel like
poorly,
you
but
didn't get my point. My point is, right?
I don't care about your point.
Everyone's gonna be looking the same in like I
No
give it
one's going to be
500
looking the
years.
same.
No, because there's gonna be that kid who's Asian, Filipino, Pakistani, Indian, white, African, Mexican, and they're all mixed together, and it's gonna keep going.
That doesn't mean that he's going to look the same. That just means he has more chance of looking like every other different thing. No?
I just don't think there's gonna
Yes.
be a black guy. You know how we have there's a black guy, a white guy, a brown guy.
No,
That's just
listen,
gonna
listen,
go
listen,
same.
listen, listen, listen. Look, if you're carrying, say for instance, you have a child with a white woman, right?
Mm.
That
Brown for all
child
of those who
is
can't see.
able, that child is able to produce a brown kid and a white kid, considering who he gets with. He can choose, basically. Well, not ultimately. Like sometimes it might vary, but he's able to choose, like
You
almost.
can
Like,
choose. No, wait, no. Like
yeah, but like if he's mixed race and you choose to go with the like, say black and white, and you go with someone who's black, your offspring is probably going to be more likely to be black.
yeah. But
So
there's
you can
so
change them
many.
up.
No, right?
Different
That's
combinations,
good,
really.
right? That's what I mean. There's different combinations, but this mixed race couples are only growing, right? The like percentage of people who go into a mixed race relationship, it's going up to a point where I think it's going to become like 100%, like in 500 years or something like that, because everyone's going to have be
Well,
mixed
no,
race.
everyone's going to be mixed. Everyone's mixed.
Exactly, yeah, and it's going to get to a point where we mix so much, we all become like similar.
We're not going to look the same.
Bro, I'm telling you, my like great grandkids are gonna look the same as your great grandkids.
No, they're not. Because, I don't know, your offspring might marry someone different.
Okay, but like
It's going to be
my thing
very,
is,
very.
over time, everyone's gonna start losing uniqueness.
No.
Yeah,
If we're going to get mixed race, I feel like it's just going to get more unique. You're going to have white features with like black faces and black features with white faces. That's
but
completely
like,
different.
why not get rid of all of the negative features about?
What do you call? What do you
This,
define as a negative
this is
feature?
borderline racist. Maybe we shouldn't talk about this,
What
right? But for
do
me,
you
right?
define
Okay,
as
okay,
a
okay,
negative?
okay. So I'm from Pakistan. I'm a brown guy, right? Genetically
Stop trying to
wise,
pull the rose card.
genetics.
Rose card.
Okay, shut up. Genetically, we have my race. We have quite a lot of hair. What if I want my kids to not have as much hair as I have, like reduce the amount, and I can have the option to change that gene? You think that's going too far?
I don't see why you necessarily get rid of it. It's not that big of a deal.
What if I just think it's I don't want my son to have that.
So you're going to control your son. You're going to define who he is
Yes,
before he's born. You
I'll make him
can't.
better than me.
No, I just feel like that's wrong. What if he wants more hair?
Well, he's an idiot because I'm telling you, you don't.
No. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but maybe he does. Like that's the same thing as cutting off someone's foreskin, no? It's like, bro, what if they wanted that?
Okay,
What if they needed that?
let's be real here.
Can you
Foreskin.
understand what I'm
I get what you're
saying?
trying to say. Foreskin is bad either way, right? It's
What?
unhygienic. I'm gonna be the guy.
Shut
It's
up.
not great. But
Foreskin
no,
gang is
no,
much
okay,
better.
no. Suck gang. But obviously, right? The reason, did I tell you the reason my race have a lot of hair? Did you know this? I'll be interested
No, I
if you
do
know
not
this.
know because I don't research Pakistani hair.
No, okay. So the reason we have hair is because we were sand people, right? And the hair like stops sand from getting everywhere. That's what I like allegedly read. Right. This is like very brief research. But we don't have that issue anymore. So why the fuck do I need all this hair? This is only
Look,
once
it's
for
only
like
because you moved.
Huh?
Listen, man. It's because you're not in the same place. Look, what you
I
have,
guess.
all that hair, is not beneficial to you now because you're in a different place. Like, say, I can't remember, oh shit, but I think it's just like white people. I don't know. Sounds racist,
Hey, we
but
call
like
them
you,
Anglos.
obviously, you see more white people in like cold places. You don't see that many black people there.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just like natural. If like a white person was supposed to go to Africa, they're gonna get burnt as fuck. You already know it.
Yeah, I mean, my mum was telling me one of her brothers went to, I think it was Zimbabwe for 2 years, and one day after he didn't visit the entire time because he was like really enjoying himself there, and when he came back, he knocked on the door, and like my family couldn't recognize him because like he was basically black at that point. Like living there for 2 years changed his skin color. So obviously the environment does have an impact on your genetic stuff, but at the same time, I think you're kind of retarded for saying you shouldn't strive for genetic
It
modification
just
physically.
depends, though. Look, I'm all for it as long as it's beneficial to like diseases.
But what about okay, muscle genetics?
I
What's
don't
what's
see
the
the
con
point.
of that? What is the con of that?
Well, what if like you don't want to be a fucking junkie? You don't want to be a steroid junkie
No,
looking
but
ass.
muscle genetics don't mean you have muscles. It means if you build on it, it grows better, or like doesn't grow better, but it like has more of the ability to grow and faster. It doesn't mean you have muscles growing up, but like that's my okay. That's pretty retarded. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a different conversation, but I'm making my kids like go to the gym since day one. Like I'm
That's
doing that shit.
disgusting. That's
That's a
why
different conversation.
they're gonna
But
grow so short.
no, not gym, but I do exercise and stuff, build muscle, do sit ups and shit. Um, Man, we really strayed from the topic, but I really feel like you're really dumb for not thinking this is a good idea.
I don't want.
Why do you want to keep the bad genes? To makes you
No,
unique?
it's
Are
not
you like trying?
bad. Jesus.
There are bad genes.
Yeah,
Boldness
but
is
why?
not good.
I didn't. Yeah, I said we can get rid of that. I didn't say that we should keep it.
Oh, but what if your kid wants to be bold?
Well, yeah, you can just shave it off, I guess.
Oh, but what if why do you just want to be permanently bald? Naturally, you took that away from him.
Laser haircut, bro.
I guess, but like that's just one example. Your point's kind of
What
just
do you
because
mean?
it's
One example. You've been using one example all the time. What the hell?
no, I use a
Am
lot.
I not
Muscle
allowed?
genetics, uh, intellect. I just you agree with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hmm, you agree with intellect, so I don't see why you don't agree with strength.
It's just too much. Intellect is fine.
All right. Well, I think we've strayed off topic a little bit, but I feel like that was a good chat we had. I feel like I've learned a lot about you. It was a pleasure speaking with you, man.
What do you mean, man? I'm still going to speak with you.
Yeah, of course, but like every time speaking to you is a new lesson, man, and that's why
Yeah. I'm
we're
just such a
teaching.
freak.
Oh, such a cool guy.
I'm
But
a
for
freak.
anyway, for everyone listening, just want to say hope you enjoyed the first ever Truu Tosis podcast. If you want, just let us know what you thought. Got any ideas for us to talk about? Any requests? The idea of us having guests is a strong possibility. Probably not for the first couple, just because I think there's just some conversations me and Matthew or True Tosis. Wait, that's me. Me and Tosis want to talk about because I think I do enjoy just when it's me and him having a good old chat.
Yeah.
But
No.
no homo, no homo. But yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed and have a nice day. Have a nice day. Anything to say,
Goodbye.
Tosis?
Please lose your virginity. I don't want 100% of the audience to be virgin.
Yeah, we can't like we need the percentage to be what's the ideal like percentage of non-virgins?
100% chance.
All right.
What does?
You guys work on that. That's your homework for next week and hope you all enjoyed. See ya.
See ya.
Uh,
What?